I know the perfect way for him to relieve any tension. "Let's try some breathing exercises," he suggests, stepping back and turning to face the mirror. It's not exactly what I had in mind. "Take a deep breath in and raise your arms above your head, like this," he says, showing me the move, then watching me to make sure I'm following his direction. "Then exhale as you bring them back down in front of you, like this. And again." I can't stop looking at his sculpted biceps as he repeats the exercise, and I notice he doesn't take his eyes off me either. And it feels like something changes between us in that moment, because afterwards he reaches for my shoulders again to see if I've loosened up, and this time I'm certain his hands linger for longer than is necessary. But just as I'm convincing myself this is not just wishful thinking on my part, he steps away again. "That's much better, Kate. See how your shoulders are much softer now." "I do," I agree, even though they don't feel any different to me. "Great. Then you're all set. And now, let's dance." It quickly becomes apparent that Merle is something of a perfectionist. There's barely time for any more chat as he walks me through the first steps of our routine. He's too focused on showing me exactly how he wants us to look and making sure I really understand what we're trying to achieve. I hadn't realised he'd be so competitive, but I get the impression he really wants to win the show. He goes into minute detail about the timing and the musicality, and how this hand should be here and this foot there. It turns out there's even an optimum way for me to flick my hair. Who knew? But I certainly know about it now. We go over it and over it, because Merle wants our performance to be flawless. "Try to give it more swoosh," he instructs, as I roll my head stiffly and my ponytail flies clunkily over my shoulder. "It should be sexy, seductive," he purrs. When I still haven't got it after the 20th attempt, he suggests we give my neck a break and starts showing me some of the footwork instead, reminding me continually to lift my chin up, hold my back straight, and keep my steps nice and small. I don't know how I'm supposed to take it all in when I'm having to concentrate so hard on keeping my eyes from drifting to his bum cheeks, which are impossibly pert in his clingy gym tights. I've never seen a body like his before, not in the flesh at any rate. It's like his torso has been carved out of rock. I knew he was going to be attractive before we met for the first time at the studio this morning, because I Googled him when I found out who I was going to be dancing with. There were only a handful of news stories about him online, detailing the various bachata championships he's won, but there were photos of him holding his trophies, and he looked gorgeous in every single one of them. And yet somehow I still failed to anticipate how infatuated I'd become with him, and how quickly. A few short hours ago I was feeling sick with nerves just at the thought of training with him. My only dance experience is the 3 weeks of pre-show classes I took with the other contestants, ahead of my appearance on Fire on the Dance Floor, and I was convinced I was going to make a total fool of myself in front of him. But now all I can think about is how fit he is, and how much I'd like to have sex with him. Like a teenage crush, with an X-rated certificate. I'd like to be able to say I impress him with my progress throughout the afternoon, but I'm not sure my wild hip-swinging and arm-flailing could be classified as dancing at this stage. I suppose by the end of the week I might look less like I'm trying to shake out a spider that's fallen down my t-shirt, but I'm definitely not there when Merle announces it's time for us to call it quits for the day. "We don't want to overdo it," he says. "This is just the beginning of a long journey." I nod enthusiastically, because I don't want to look defeatist. But based on today's efforts, it's going to take some kind of miracle to get me through the first live show, never mind all the way to the final. "Are you feeling okay?" he asks. "No aches and pains? Anywhere feeling a bit tight?" I do a mental assessment of my body parts. It's so tempting to tell him I've seized up all over, and that the only possible cure would be a top-to-toe massage. But of course, I don't. "I think I'm good for now. I guess I'll find out for real in the morning." "Make sure you have a hot bath tonight," he advises. "It will help, to a degree. That's what I'll be doing when I get home." I blush at the thought of him naked in the tub. I find myself dawdling as I change out of my dance shoes, wanting to prolong my time with him. When I glance up for one last surreptitious look at that